Hi friends, I hope that everybody's doing well. Before we get into the reading, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. I'm seeing you be in a spot where you feel like you don't have, you may feel like you're not in the best circumstances to be trying to figure something out. Kind of like there's something that you're trying to maneuver through or something that you're trying to do, but for some reason you may find yourself in a spot where you're like, how am I going to be able to do that with like what I have, with what I'm working with? Maybe even a bit of a mental block. So there's a focus here on the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups primarily speaks about connection. It speaks about love. Love for ourselves, love for those around us. Maybe more loving connections that you're trying to manifest right now. Could be a particular type of relationship. So always going to start with you and yourself. That's interesting. So I'm seeing the Ace of Cups. It looks like it's being offered to someone, but this person already feels like they have what they feel like they have everything already. Let's get deeper into this. I'm getting something about, I'm hearing bookstore, I'm hearing book front, and I'm also getting something about a yearbook. You may have been in a spot where you weren't ready for something yet because you had other things that you needed to take care of. The interesting thing is that it's like the Ace of Cups is being offered to someone, and the Ace of Cups is like connection and love, and it could be new people walking into your life, could be new connections that you have. Does not solely need to be romantic, can be platonic. It's just about like connecting from a soul level. And I'm seeing somebody be in a place where like they're not really interested in that. So one has the opportunity to connect. It's absolutely here available. And this person is like, I'm not really into that, is what I'm seeing. On the other side of this, I'm seeing somebody feel like the Ten of Pentacles for some reason feels very heavy. Like sometimes the Ten of Pentacles kind of looks like a trophy room. Like, look at all of these things that I have. And it can feel kind of a little bit like a big collection that feels like it's weighing very heavily on one, where you kind of feel stuck or even subservient to this thing that you have. And I'm also seeing among this like pile of things that this person has is the Three of Swords. And so there's something here about like heartbreak being connected with this. And so this person, it seems like they don't want the Ace of Cups because there's some sort of issue going on related to like their stability, even their foundation. And I'm seeing them trying to work within a situation, and that's why they're not open to the Ace of Cups. It's not time yet. Something about the timing being figured out here. Someone is very, very carefully trying to maneuver through a situation, but feeling... It almost reminds me of like when the power steering goes in a car, and so it's like very, very difficult to try to maneuver through. I'm seeing a situation like that where like you have the wheel, you're trying to figure out how to do this, but you also feel like something's kind of stopping you, or there's a bit of a barrier. So maybe this is about opening up more rather than being so closed down. Because you could be not allowing something in that wouldn't be much of an issue. It feels like somebody having an opportunity that's being given to them that is something that like nobody, and maybe in their right mind, would deny. Like, you may see this as a situation like that because it's the Ace of Cups. Like, who doesn't want the Ace of Cups? Who doesn't want to connect with themselves? Who doesn't want to connect with other people? Things like that. Or like to feel that connection, because it's not just like, here, introvert, go to the party. This is more of a situation like intimacy and feeling seen and wanting to have that connection. And it's the things that, like, from the human experience and from a soul level, the things that we want to experience, things that even transcend this human experience that we have, this connection of all of us being together and connected and so on and so forth. And so, like, that's what's being offered to this person. However, someone may feel like they need to get things together within the 3D and are not opening themselves up to this thing, like, spiritually, that's going on. There may be more of a focus on things within the 3D. I'm trying to find an example for this, but I'm not really getting anything yet to explain this more thoroughly. But this is coming, like, the reason that this person is denying it may be coming from, like, a faulty foundation or, like, a cracked sort of logic that one is trying to work with here. Like, something that comes from a space of, like, pain or something that needs to be healed. Feels like a Chiron moment. It's like this person has scraped their leg, and the Ace of Cups would be the ointment for this scrape to heal, but this person is like, no, I can't take that because I want it to heal on its own naturally. But it's like the Ace of Cups would just be helping that, and if anything, like, the Ace of Cups is the perfect remedy for this. But this person is, like, for some reason not seeing it. I feel like there's something that maybe this person isn't connected with, that it's not making sense to them. What a strange thing. It's like something that's right in front of somebody's face, but they're not really seeing it. Okay, so whatever this was that the person hadn't been ready for initially, or had kind of been like, I need to play around with this some more before I can be like, I'm done with this. I'm seeing them get to a place where they're like, I don't want to be closed off in this way anymore. I actually am ready for this new chapter. So this person realizes, I don't need to focus on the Three of Swords anymore. It's not going to do anything for me. This feels like an acceptance. I'm looking at Leo on the bottom of the deck. This feels like an acceptance of recognizing that as much as we can change the furniture around, rearrange the furniture in the room, it's not going to change the articles of furniture that are in the room. It's just going to be rearranging it. So this person finds themselves in a space where they're like, I understand that I can rearrange the furniture, but I don't really want to rearrange it anymore. We can just leave it where it is and keep going. Let's continue with the path. So I'm seeing this person recognize even that they had been closed off before. So there was some sort of event that this person had been holding on to where they did feel like they were hurt within a situation, because this is some sort of pain. that this person experienced, that they felt they needed to do more work with it, and then got to a point where they're recognizing, hey, I'm missing out on these things that are like becoming available for me, and if I want to find a way to maneuver through this, I can't be so defensive all the time. Like, I can't be so on guard. I want to open myself up now. So this person is in a space where they're like, if I'm shooing everything and everyone away, including my opportunities, I recognize like I'm not going to find what I want here, and that I'm like blocking myself from having these things. So I'm seeing this person be in a space where they're like, yes, these things did happen that I felt hurt by. That me doing anything with that is not going to change the events. It's just stuff that's happened, and I don't need to hold on to it, and so now I can continue with my path. So it seems very much like this like meta even experience that this person is having, and then moving to a space where they're ready to open themselves up to this Ace of Pentacles here and go towards this new chapter. Like, we can close the last chapter now, let's open the new one. They feel called to move in this direction, like they are being guided. Interesting. This person may have, I'm hearing swapped opportunities. This person may have gone into more of like a spiritual path with the Hierophant. However, I'm also seeing the Seven of Swords here. So this is a moment to remember that just because somebody's in like a certain type of community, like a religious community, for example, you still need to be checking everybody's intentions. It reminds me of the saying that, like, in any given job or arena, there are going to be like 10% of people that are very, very immaculate at what they do, very, very incredible and in touch and beyond efficient at what they do. Then you're gonna have a 10% that is like the bottom, that is like, how did you even get here, how are you doing this job? And then like the rest of the people, the 80%, are going to be in the middle somewhere. So there may have been somewhat of like a spiritual path, or a path even, because the Hierophant can represent authority figures. Like, this can be people that are connected even with, can even be like the government and stuff like that. I would see that more so as being a Capricorn energy, but the way that I'm reading the Hierophant in this situation is like, this can be anything where like one would potentially have some sort of authority over other people, or where you may see somebody as an authority figure. You want to be mindful that you're not just blindly following people. You want to be checking. This can also be connected to have the Hierophant and the Seven of Swords. It can be connected with taking on some sort of identity that then, like, when it's taken on, you feel like this somehow elevates you, and that you're somehow like like better than other people or something like that, which can definitely be a thing that happens. Like, oh, because you chose like a spiritual path, we can call it like you're a chosen one or whatever, but at the like detriment of everybody else, you know? So it's something that you want to be mindful of. Anything that is preaching an ethos that is exclusive in any sort of way, that has any sort of judgment with people and what they're doing with their lives and things like that. And this can also be shadow work that's related to things of that nature as well. And I'm seeing something that's being worked on. I will say this too, like, identities are part of our social upbringing, right? But identities are also part of the ego. So even if it's a spiritual identity, it's still also part of the ego. And it's still something that will fall away too. See, the devil, the government definitely can be. Anything that's connected with authority, especially having these two here. You may be working with something within the 3D that feels like quite a sticky process that you're moving through, that you're getting more of an understanding for. See, the devil can represent illusion. It's called the Maya. It's like the veil of coming here and living the life and kind of forgetting what's going on the other side of things, and being so invested in the world that we forget that that is also going to fall away too. So it looks like there's stuff that you're working on that's related to attachments. That's also what the devil speaks about. Things that are not being moderated, things that we're not seeing clearly, things that because of how caught up in the intricate process of, we kind of lose our zoomed out perspective of seeing what's really going on there. And it can be the way that we succumb to codependency within our relationships, with people around us, with things, really with anything. Anytime that we're not in a lucid state of mind as well. Things that you subscribe to that you give your power away to. Give away your power, your autonomy, things of that nature. There could also be a focus in general on things within the 3D. Like, you may be wanting to manifest things concretely, but I'm seeing something where, like, even if somebody is posing as a guide, you want to be mindful of energetically how you're feeling around that person, how you're feeling about yourself, all of that, because, like, somebody may be, like, you would see them to be in a shadow space or a bit misguided, and it's like they're going to be sending you on some missions that are, like, not things that are going to be accruing the type of karma that you want. So it's something to be mindful of, like what you're putting your belief in. Because the Hierophant too can be, to have the Hierophant next to the Seven of Swords, it can be like somebody that's in a shadow space, but they're kind of posing as some sort of authority figure, saying like, just trust me and this and that will happen, but not encouraging you to follow your intuition. Or if you have a weird feeling about it, them being like, don't pay attention to that, you know? Or you not listening to your intuition. But you would know energetically, so it's a time to really trust yourself and ask yourself, like, what's your intention? What do you feel the intention is of, like, the people that you're connecting with? Is there, like, happiness around these people? Like, do you feel seen by them? Do you feel connected, like, when you're listening to them? Because, like, the Hierophant, too, can be somebody that has, like, a following or anything like that. It's reminding me of like a preacher type of vibe. So it can be somebody that's like in some sort of community that is revered in some way. However, there's something going on with somebody having weird intentions, and like I don't know who this energy is sticking to, because there's so many different like players within this scenario. But you just want to be mindful of, like, are you working to be like honest, to be genuine, authentic, candid, to be transparent? Are you like becoming more conscious? Are you working from a place of love? Or like, are you even tapping into what you're tapping into for reasons that are going to be detrimental to you and also other people? Is it harmful? Is it coming from a place of like fear? Is it related to the shadow? Like, how are we talking about other people? How are we talking about ourselves? And again, coming back to this thing of like, what are we using our gifts and our abilities for, our capabilities for? Like, are we using it in the way that it's meant to be used, in a way that's going to bring about further unity and harmony? Or are we turning away from that and being like, I'd rather have $1 million and feel like you're willing to sacrifice your integrity for that. And again, like, no judgment from my standpoint as the reader. It's more so about being aware of the decisions that you're making and giving you insight, because I'm just here as a reflection. I'm not here as, like, Gabriella having a conversation with you. I'm here as a conduit for your higher self, having a conversation from you to yourself. So it seems like something is being offered to you, that it's like even time for you to be connecting with someone, and you have someone interesting. Someone, something. Maybe a someone. You have the opportunity of, like, whether or not you want to answer this call. Because I'm seeing you be in a space where you're still trying to figure something out with, like, this subconscious shadow energy. And it may be something where it's like, I don't want to be seen yet. I don't want to do that yet. I don't want to be honest with myself yet. And, like, so be it. The thing is that, like, if you're not ready for that yet, we're going to be here when you are ready for it. And so, like, you can go down that trip and then come back, and we're going to be here and be very happy when you arrive. But it's very much like that. Like, you can go wherever you want and do whatever you want to be doing, and you get to decide when you're ready. But yeah, there may be something that's kind of distracting for you within the environment that seems appealing, and it can be something that is very much based in the physical world that you're going after. Potentially. Remember too, like, this can also be somebody that you're trying to connect with as well, or somebody that you know, and this is giving you an explanation of where that person is. There's so many different ways that these readings can resonate. You know what, this actually reminds me too, a while back, there was this sentiment that came through about, like, the energy that we invite into our lives. And a person can say, like, hey, I'm really striving for peace within my life. However, like, when chaos comes knocking, whether this be a person or a situation, if that person invites chaos in, you're actively also pushing away the peace. So it's not just a choice to let chaos come through the door. You're actively pushing away that peace. So this is also about asking yourself too, like, what you're trying to cultivate within your life, and are your decisions in alignment with that intention? Because there could be something that you're going after, something that you want, that's actually just part of the ego or the shadow's desires with the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles makes it seem like something physically that you may be going after, or something that you may be, I'm hearing starstruck by, maybe just something that seems very shiny and appealing to you. However, once you get closer to it, you may realize, like, hey, this isn't all that it was cracked up to be. So you want to ask yourself, like, and this can be any type of goal. Why am I going after that goal? Like, what is it that I want about that? And what do I think I'm going to accomplish by going after that? And checking your intention space for why you're making moves towards what you're making moves towards. Because it seems to, like, there's something within the heart space that you have the opportunity to be working on. However, at times you may be ignoring that for something else. Because there's potential here for you to chase after something that actually feels empty. Or you can ask yourself what you think your heart is really connecting with and aligning with, and, like, what it actually wants to go towards. And by you working on the Three of Swords, meaning wherever this, like, origination of, like, pain or trauma or whatever came from, by you recognizing this, by you addressing this, it's going to help you bring light to this shadow space that you may feel is subconsciously making moves for you on occasion. It seems too like there could be somebody that you're working with to do shadow work as well. This would be somebody, I'm getting like a very powerful energy from this person. This would be somebody that's, interesting. For some of you, they're into, I'm hearing the word tantric. Tantric is to like draw something out or elongate it. This may be somebody that's been through a lot of heavy stuff that kind of knows how to maneuver through it. I'm getting like a sludge tar type of energy, but this person like somehow knows how to work with that. So maybe somebody that works well with like very, very gross form in some way, meaning like physical, tangible. Very interesting. So overall, this feels like a big reflection, a big reflection of which radio stations you're listening to, metaphorically speaking. Who are you tuning into and who are you connecting with? Whether this be channels within yourself or channels within other people. Like, what frequency are people on? What frequency are you on? And who are you connecting with? And what does that mean as far as what you're building too? You may be thinking too about, yeah, who it is that you're connecting with, who it is that you're spending time with, whether it be face to face or it be you spending time watching a TV show and connecting with the characters and asking yourself how you feel like what you feel like the exchanges that's going on between you and these things that you're connecting with. Looking at Jupiter, Taurus, Capricorn, Mercury, and Virgo on the bottom of the deck. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.